Well, let's talk now to Paul Ingram, who's a nuclear disarmament researcher at the UK Centre for the Study of Existential Risk. Thanks for coming on the programme, Paul. So we've got conflicting reports, haven't we, on all sides, really, about just how much of Iran's nuclear capability has been destroyed by these US strikes. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think your correspondent earlier got it right. It depends on who's saying and what their interests are. I think that the evidence seems to point to the fact that there is extensive damage that's undeniable, that will have set back Iran's capacity to develop nuclear material for whatever purpose, and that I think is undeniable. How you time that is super complicated, and it's important also to recognise that if the intention is to create material for a nuclear weapon, then the quantities are not actually that great, much less than for commercial purposes. So I think Rubio's comment that the conversion facility has been destroyed means that there's no route to a nuclear weapon, I think is patently absurd. I think that if the Iranians put their minds to it and they've spirited away this 440-odd kilos of highly enriched uranium, there is certainly the capacity to reconstitute in months rather than years. Most of this damage is around centrifuges and other parts of the fuel cycle, and with the knowledge they have, I think the Iranians could rebuild that.
So what about this uranium then that you say could have been potentially spirited away? What might have happened to that?
Well, if I were the Iranians and I knew that there was a likely attack coming along, I would just take it somewhere safe, somewhere secret, somewhere that they know is not compromised. And that is somewhere that the agency will not have visited. Bear in mind that Iran has been the most heavily inspected country on the planet when it comes to nuclear facilities. It has engaged extensively with the agency. The agency has visited many sites in the country, but it can't visit all possible places. And so the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard Corps, will have found a space that the agency will not have been. And I would imagine too that they either already have or will develop quite quickly centrifuge cascades that could take it further, should they choose to do so. The key thing here... Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I just wanted to ask you what does happen now with its nuclear programme, because it has just pledged to accelerate the civilian nuclear programme, as well as suspending cooperation with the United Nations nuclear watchdog. So what does happen now?
Well, so it suspends cooperation, so everything goes dark. That's a really serious problem. That's probably the most important dimension of this whole issue, alongside the fact that if the voices within Iran calling for nuclear capability will be much louder today than they were a week ago. And the Americans and Israelis have given Iran every incentive to try to race to a nuclear weapon. That's one side. On the other hand, there are still some areas of weaponization that Iran has not mastered. They certainly have experienced significant setback when it comes to the capacity to race. And so there's a lot of uncertainty. And that's why when you have uncertainty, there's lots of room for political speculation, analysis and disinformation. And so when you have the US president expressing great confidence that they've set this program back by decades, you know that that's not entirely true.
Paul, great to get your thoughts today. Thank you so much for coming on the programme. That's Paul Ingram from the UK Centre for the Study of Existential Risk.